officially reached that point.
It's very clear that the Indiana Fever don't want Caitlin to be Caitlin.
Coach, why the double standard? Fire her. Damn.
Those were the kind of questions media was asking them.
Fever coach just got fired after attacking Caitlin Clark. This is insane. The Indiana Fever have just fired their assistant coach after that shocking moment where she physically grabbed Caitlin Clark during a game, and now the entire league is in chaos. What seemed like a quick sideline scuffle has exploded into a full-blown WNBA firestorm, exposing months of behind-the-scenes tension, control tactics, and a blatant effort to silence the league's biggest star. Now, with the truth out, the WNBA is under fire, and fans are demanding answers. Fever coach just got fired, and it all started with a shocking moment where she physically grabbed Caitlin Clark during a blowout game in June 2025. That one act, caught on video and viewed millions of times online, sent shockwaves across the WNBA. But here's the real story. This wasn't just about one grab. It was the breaking point in a months-long campaign by the Indiana Fever to control, suppress, and reshape the biggest name in women's basketball.
It's completely unacceptable. It is completely unacceptable.
One of the assistant coaches chasing Caitlin Clark down as she's riling up the crowd, and it seems like she's getting scolded.
That game against the Connecticut Sun wasn't close. The Fever were up by 20. Clark had just buried a step-back three over J.C. Sheldon, hyped up the crowd, and walked toward the bench to be subbed out. But instead of high fives and celebration, her coach reached out and physically pulled her by the arm, mid-hype.
Play over the past 3 games, it is very clear that Caitlin Clark is not feeling like Caitlin.
From that moment on, something changed. Clark never re-entered the game. And more importantly, she wasn't the same player. Her fire, her edge, her emotion, gone. You could see it in the games that followed, including the one against the Valkyries. Caitlin, known for playing with relentless energy, looked muted, robotic, and broken. And this wasn't some hot take. Analysts, former players, and fans across the league all noticed it. Her body language, her voice in interviews, it was like watching a star dim in real time.
I'm not a fan of what they're trying to do to Caitlin Clark. And I fully believe they're trying to diminish, they're trying to dim.
Caitlin Clark has always said she plays her best when she's feeding off emotion. That's when I'm at my best, she told reporters after her breakout game against the Liberty. She lives for the crowd, the chaos, the spotlight. Her college coach, Lisa Bluter, knew that. She let Clark lead with emotion, and it worked. Clark became the most watched athlete in women's college sports history. But in the pros, the Fever treated her emotions like a problem, not a gift.
Absolutely beat the crap.
This wasn't just about one coach grabbing her arm. It was a symptom of something much bigger. A systemic effort by the Indiana Fever to turn Caitlin into someone she's not. A player who smiles on command, keeps quiet, and only shoots logo threes when the system allows it. They wanted a product, not a competitor.
It wasn't only her performance on the court that was worrying fans, it was also just her demeanor, her energy. It felt like something was wrong. She wasn't hyping up the crowd like she normally.
And by the way, from this moment on, we hardly saw anything. From this moment on, the emotion was gone from.
And Caitlin tried to play along, but it showed. After that game, her shot attempts dropped. Her minutes were inconsistent and her impact faded. She looked like a passenger on her own team. Even as she racked up stats, her emotional presence, the one that filled arenas, was nowhere to be seen.
The problem that a lot of us have with the referees is it's either very physical and they're calling everything or they're missing.
Then came the referees. In that same Connecticut game, Clark was poked in the eye and shoved to the ground, with no whistle. The WNBA later admitted the officials lost control and missed key calls. But still, no suspensions, no accountability. This wasn't the first time either. Clark has been on the receiving end of at least 5 flagrant or technical fouls this season, many from well-known enforcers. Yet the punishment? Minimal or non-existent. Worse, there were reports that referees threatened to give Clark a tech for simply hyping up the crowd. Think about that. The league's biggest draw being penalized for doing what she does best. for giving fans a reason to show up.
Don't really get to be a dog and get to that platform where you get to bring a national title, the first one back to LSU, without having that type of mentality, that chip on your shoulder. And I feel like we have to let these young women be unapologetically themselves.
It became clear this wasn't just poor management, it was sabotage. From the bench to the front office, the Fever seemed determined to shrink Clark's influence. They didn't want her fire, her swagger, or her control. They wanted something clean, something marketable, something less real.
She's not like this during the game. That's not Caitlyn. That's not who she is. And if you want to turn her into that, that's going to have more negative repercussions than...
But Caitlyn Clark isn't squeaky clean. She never pretended to be. She's competitive, feisty, trash talks, flops, and fights for every possession. That's what makes her special. She's not perfect. She's powerful. Like Kobe. Like Jordan. And trying to strip that away? That was the Fever's biggest mistake. And now it's backfired.
If a coach did this to any other player in the league, they'd be fired.
The coach is gone. Fired just weeks after that viral moment. The organization tried to play it off as differences in direction, but everyone knows what really happened. Fans demanded accountability. The video went viral. Commentators lit up the front office, and most importantly, Caitlyn's silence spoke volumes.
Not try to turn a player who plays off emotion into a robot.
This wasn't just a firing, it was a reckoning. A message that you don't get to draft the most electrifying player in sports and then clip her wings. You don't get to silence someone whose very identity is built on defying limits.
She was out with injury, that the WNBA does better when she is on the court. The WNBA ratings across the league dropped by over 50% when Caitlyn Clark was out with injury, and this is obviously such a crucial time and a crucial year for the league.
Caitlyn Clark is not a brand to manage. She's a force to unleash. And if the Fever want to win, if the WNBA wants to grow, they need to stop treating her like a threat and start treating her like what she really is. The future of the game.
You can't just grab a player. Like, I'm sorry, you can't just, the player's walking back, you can't just grab a player.
All right, so let's just get one thing straight. This wasn't just a bad coaching moment that got someone fired. No, this thing ran deep. Like, the call is coming from inside the house, kind of deep. Because once you start pulling at the thread of Caitlyn Clark getting grabbed mid-game, it unravels a whole operation behind the scenes that's been trying to remake her from scratch, and not in a good way.
This is Caitlyn Clark. This is Caitlyn at her best, when she is relentless. When she is relentless, when she's getting the crowd involved.
The problem is, Caitlyn Clark isn't built to blend in. She's not a system player. She is the system. And the thing is, Caitlyn knew it. She felt it. She hinted at it in interviews, saying things like, "They're trying to stop me from doing what I do best." That's not a throwaway comment. That's a warning shot. The greatest show in women's basketball was being told to dim the lights a little. Maybe tone it down. Maybe don't get too emotional. Maybe don't lead with your fire.
Because nothing makes sense. Nothing makes sense.
This was never about basketball fundamentals. This was about image control. Rumors were swirling that the Fever were under pressure, internally and maybe even from the league, to keep Caitlyn on brand.
And they're trying to make her fit in to what the WNBA used to be, rather than fit out and...
You know, polished, disciplined, maybe a little robotic. Basically, turn the most electric, passionate, headline-making player in the league into the WNBA's version of a well-behaved prom queen. Well, that's how you lose the room.
The referees are threatening a tech for hyping up the crowd. Go take your tech. This is sports. This is sports. You take a tech. I don't care. We treat this sport like it's...
Experts called this out weeks ago. They saw the pattern before it blew up. The way the coaching staff tried to rewire Caitlyn's entire identity. The way her freedom on the court was slowly pulled back. Play by play. Minute by minute. Before the incident in June, Caitlyn was rolling, all-star pace, leading her team, lighting up defenses. Every possession felt like it could be something, a wild pass, a 30-footer, a crowd-sparking run. But after that moment, the game where her coach physically grabbed her after hyping up the crowd, everything dipped. Her shot attempts went down. Her assists dropped.
Thinks that Caitlyn Clark, not the... Thinks that Caitlyn's there just because she shoots long threes.
And what made it weirder? This was happening during blowouts like the JC Sheldon game. You're up by 20. Caitlyn's cooking, but instead of letting her run the show and celebrate with the fans, the Fever benched her. Why? The message was loud. Tone it down.
It is, Caitlyn literally goes, well, it's like, well, they're trying to tell, my team are trying to stop me from doing this, but that's when I'm at my best.
But in doing that, they toned down the entire show. Fans noticed. Analysts noticed. Her body language said it all. No more yelling, no more chest bumps, no more fire. She went from Kobe energy to corporate training video in like 2 games. It was painful to watch. Because Caitlin Clark isn't just a stats machine, she's a spark plug. She plays with her soul, not a script. And then we get to the big moment. The firing.
And she keeps getting asked interview questions about it. It's like, oh, they're trying to get you to do this.
The Fever tried to mold Caitlin Clark into their version of what a player should be. But what they forgot is, Caitlin already is exactly who she needs to be. Raw, passionate, loud, unfiltered, and unstoppable. Now, they're learning the hard way.
The coaches are huddling, so it's not like she's missing the timeout and whatever coach is drawing up.
The coach may be gone, but let's be real, this thing is bigger than one clipboard and whistle. What happened to Caitlin Clark isn't just about one coach losing their cool, it's about a league-wide failure to protect, support, and unleash the biggest star women's basketball has ever seen. And now, whether they like it or not, the WNBA is on notice.
Discrepancy is different. It's so bizarre.
And here's the thing, it wasn't an isolated event. Caitlyn's been the victim of 5 different flagrant or technical-worthy fouls in less than a full season, and all she's gotten in return is a couple of common fouls and some toughen-up energy from the media. Players like Natasha Cloud and Chennedy Carter have pulled off clear, dirty plays. Carter literally checked her from behind mid-play, and guess what the league did? Nothing. Not even a slap on the wrist.
Her as a player is so important for this team and for this league in general. So
that's what tells you this is bigger than rough play. This is about a league that has absolutely no idea how to handle a star like Caitlin Clark. Instead of celebrating her, they've treated her like a liability. Like her personality is a problem to be managed, not a force to be embraced. And it makes no sense because Clark isn't just a basketball player, she's a phenomenon.
It pisses off everybody whenever we say it. And then obviously it becomes a whole thing because we're a bunch of doofuses and things like that. But like, this is the golden goose. This is the one. This is the generational.
Her debut game brought in 2.1 million viewers. Her jersey sales broke records. She's packing arenas, dominating social media, and dragging national TV cameras to every Fever game, even when they're getting blown out. The WNBA has never had this kind of attention. But instead of protecting their most valuable player, they're trying to tame her, censor her, manage her into a bland, risk-free version of herself.
And they're trying to take that away from her. They're trying to take away the greatest.
They didn't want her clapping back at refs. They didn't want her hyping up crowds. They definitely didn't want her chirping opponents. Basically, they wanted the logo threes without the attitude. But here's the thing, that's not Caitlin Clark. You can't separate the fire from the game. You can't strip out the attitude and expect the same results. And the hypocrisy? Unreal. Because players like Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, and even Angel Reese get praised for that same raw emotion. Trash talk, grit, swagger, those guys get celebrated. But when Caitlyn shows it, suddenly it's unsportsmanlike. Suddenly she's too much. It's a double standard and fans are seeing it loud and clear.
it's clearly an issue. There's clearly a problem. If it's not just one.
So now, with the coach gone, we've hit a turning point. This could finally be the start of Caitlyn's reclamation arc. The pressure is on the Fever front office. Are they going to keep trying to shove her into a box, or are they finally going to let her be herself? Because fans are tired of watching the WNBA treat Caitlyn like a brand they can manage. They want to see Caitlyn unleashed, the Iowa version. The fiery, relentless, talk-your-ear-off competitor who doesn't just play the game, she takes it over.
She is a player who, for better or for worse, plays off emotion.
And don't think people aren't watching. Teammates, media, fans, everyone sees the shift. This isn't just about basketball anymore. This is about culture. This is about whether the WNBA is ready to evolve and embrace what modern fandom really looks like. It's no longer about polished, press-trained robots. It's about passion, personality, and presence. Caitlin Clark is all three. Let's call it what it is. The league tried to dim a star, and it blew up in their faces. The fans aren't having it. The media's not letting it slide. And most importantly, Caitlin's not going anywhere. She's still here, still standing. And now that the coach is out of the way, maybe, just maybe, we'll see the real Caitlin Clark return. Don't forget to like this video and make sure to subscribe for more WNBA stories. WNBA stories.